Trump bombs Iran. It wasn't self-defense, it wasn't necessary, and it may have just lit the fuse on another endless war in the Middle East. Welcome to the No Spin Zone. Graph's Grievances starts right now. For weeks, Donald Trump sat at the center of a bitter foreign policy tug-of-war. On one side, his MAGA base, demanding America stay out of Israel's escalating war with Iran. On the other, Republican hawks and foreign policy hardliners pressuring Trump to strike. On Saturday night, June 21st, Trump made his choice, and he made it loud and clear. He ordered a fleet of B-2 bombers and Navy submarines halfway across the world to launch the most aggressive U.S. assault on Iran's nuclear facility in modern history. Fordo, not Yance, Esfuhans. These aren't just names, they are the backbone of Iran's nuclear program. And now they're the latest targets of Trump's bombing campaign. 6 B-2 stealth bombers dropped a dozen 30,000-pound bunker busters on Fordo alone, a site so deeply buried beneath a mountain that even Israel's military couldn't reach it. These are multi-million-dollar weapons designed to penetrate reinforced underground targets. At the same time, 30 Tomahawk cruise missiles lit up Natanz and Esfuhans. One B-2 bomber also dropped 2 bunker busters on Natanz. This attack stunned many observers, including myself, because Trump built his brand on rejecting these kinds of reckless military adventures. He ran against the Iraq War. He mocked President George W. Bush. He promised no more foreign entanglements.
We should have never gone into the Middle East. We should have never gone into the Middle East. Under my leadership, we will turn the page forever on those foolish, stupid days of never-ending wars.
We're rebuilding our military stronger than ever before, and we are not going to deplete it again on stupid, senseless, endless wars. World War III has never been closer than it is right now. We need to clean house of all of the warmongers and America last globalists and the deep state. I am the president who delivers peace.
I was the first president in decades who didn't start a war. And the worst, most incompetent, most corrupt president in history is going to drag us into World War III. And this horrible, horrible president is dragging us toward World War III. We're going to be in World War III soon. Because I think we would have been good with Iran. I don't want to do anything bad to Iran.
The president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective.
Speaking of World War III, I'll keep you out of World War III. What would happen if we had a war? We won't, with me, but you will have World War III, I believe, without me, but we won't have.
I will be sure that World War III will not happen. I'm the only one can say it won't happen.
But now, the same man who once swore he'd end forever wars just launched an unprovoked strike on a country that wasn't attacking us. Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. It wasn't threatening America. And until now, it had avoided directly targeting U.S. forces, even as war raged between Israel and Hezbollah. But with one order, Trump may have changed all of that. The risk of escalation is enormous. Over 40,000 American troops are stationed across the Middle East, in Iraq, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, the UAE. All are now on high alert, sitting targets for Iranian retaliation. Tehran has already vowed a response. Its foreign minister said Iran has every right to defend its sovereignty. And now that Trump has joined Israel's war, retaliation is no longer a threat. It's a near certainty. Trump, of course, doesn't see it that way. On Truth Social, just hours after the bombing, he posted, quote, "Now is the time for peace." As if Trump hadn't just dropped 360,000 pounds of explosives on another sovereign nation. But peace doesn't work like that. You don't get to light the match and then act surprised when the house catches fire. This was a gamble, and not just any gamble. It was the biggest and most dangerous bet of Trump's second term. He's banking on the idea that these strikes will cripple Iran's nuclear ambitions. But, if anything, he may have handed them the ultimate incentive to go all in on getting a bomb. Because the message this sends is unmistakable. If you don't have nuclear weapons, the US might attack you at any time. But if you do have nuclear weapons, you're suddenly off limits. That's not peace, that's provocation. Even before these strikes, Iran had one of the largest missile arsenals in the region. Over 2,000 mid and long-range missiles, according to US and Israeli intelligence. Now, if Iran decides to respond, they could hit US bases in a dozen countries. Or they could do what NBC News reports they've already threatened: activate sleeper cells on US soil. And what's Trump's plan if that happens? What if Iranian missiles slam into America's air bases in Qatar? What if oil tankers are attacked in the Strait of Hormuz? What if gas prices skyrocket, markets crash, and American lives are lost? We have seen this movie before. It starts with precision strikes, it ends with body bags and trillion-dollar quagmires. And let's talk about Israel, because that's the real game here. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has wanted to destroy Iran's nuclear program for decades. And now, with Trump's help, he just might get his wish. Netanyahu's strategy has always been regime change in Iran. He has never trusted diplomacy. In fact, Netanyahu pressured Trump in 2018 to withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal. A deal that by all objective measures was working. Iran had agreed to strict limits, inspectors had access, enrichment was capped. But Netanyahu saw peace as a threat to his ambitions. And Trump, eager for headlines, gave Netanyahu what he wanted. Now we're seeing the fallout. Trump says these bombings were about stopping nuclear proliferation. But even Israeli intelligence admits that Iran likely moved its most enriched uranium out of Fordo days ago, before the attack. Satellite images showed cargo trucks leaving the site before the US strike. Iranian officials say they evacuated key material. So what exactly did we hit? According to a senior US official speaking to the New York Times, the bunker buster bombs didn't destroy Fordo, they just damaged the entrance. And even if they had destroyed it, there's something Trump can't bomb: knowledge. Iran has been enriching uranium since the 1950s. Its scientists know how to build centrifuges. They've rebuilt facilities after previous cyber attacks, assassinations, and other forms of sabotage. Bombs might delay Iran, but they won't erase 7 decades of nuclear expertise. And here's the twisted irony. By attacking Iran now, Trump may have sealed their decision to go nuclear. One Middle East expert put it this way to the Times, quote, "If you're Iran, your neighbors are Netanyahu, Israel, the Taliban, and MBS. Of course, you want a deterrent. In other words, Trump didn't stop Iran from getting the bomb. He may have convinced them they need one more now than ever. And let's not forget about the constitutional crisis brewing beneath all of this. Trump did not seek authorization from Congress. He did not consult the American people. He launched these strikes unilaterally, despite the Constitution giving Congress the sole power to declare war. Republicans claim this was a limited operation. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said, quote, "This is not a war against Iran." But Trump himself undercut that argument completely, literally hours later, writing online, quote, "If the current Iran regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be regime change?" That doesn't sound like a limited operation with the goal of peace. So, who benefits from all of this? Not the American people, who get the costs, the casualties, the consequences. Not our democracy. It was bypassed. No, the winner here is Benjamin Netanyahu. Trump is doing his bidding, dragging America into a foreign war to serve someone else's agenda. And for what? We've shattered diplomacy, empowered Iran's hardliners, put 40,000 US troops in harm's way, raised the price of oil, and ignited a war that Trump once promised he would never begin. We've seen where this path leads. Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Syria, dead US soldiers, endless occupation, a legacy of failure. Trump promised America no more endless wars. Instead, he gave us a new one. And this time, it's with a nation that has the power and now maybe the motive to strike back. Thank you for watching Graf's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please consider supporting my channel via the Venmo link below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and join me tomorrow for more.